Hello, Mr. Nate. Guten Morgen. Please solve Advent of Code, thanks. Day 2. The gift shop. You get inside and take the elevator to its only other stop, the gift shop. Oops. Thank you for visiting the North Pole, gleefully exclaims a nearby sign. You aren't sure who is allowed to visit the North Pole, but you know you can access the lobby through here. And from there you can access the rest of the North Pole base. As you make your way through the surprisingly extensive selection of the clerks, surprisingly extensive selection, one of the clerks recognizes you and asks for help. As it turns out, one of the younger elves was playing on a gift shop computer and managed to add a whole bunch of invalid product IDs to their gift shop database. Surely it would be no trouble for you to identify the invalid product IDs for them, right? They've even checked most of the product IDs ranges already. They only have a few product ID ranges, your puzzle input, that you will need to check. For example, blah blah blah. The ID ranges are wrapped for legibility. In your input, they appear on a single long line. Darn young elephants, yeah. The ranges are separated by commas. Each range gives its first ID, last ID separated by a dash. Since the young elf was just doing silly patterns, you can find the invalid IDs by looking for any ID which is made only of some sequence of digits repeated twice. So 55, 5 tries, 64, 64 twice, and 123, 123, 123 twice would all be invalid IDs. None of the numbers have leading zeros. 0101 isn't an ID at all. 101 is a valid ID that you would ignore. The job is to find all the invalid IDs that appear in the given ranges. In the above example, 11-22 has two invalid IDs, 11 and 22. 95 to 115 has one invalid ID, 99, and so on. Adding up all the invalid IDs in this example produces 122. Huh? Because here 1 is twice, it only gets added here once. But adding up all the invalid IDs in this example produces. Huh? Where's the 9? Adding up is just summing up, I guess. See. What do you get if you add up all the invalid IDs? To begin your puzzle input, okay. The rest of the ranges contain no valid. Okay, so we have an example. Day 2 solution. Fine. Technically, example has already finished the first half of the test. I guess you can do it to verify it's correct. Yeah. Use the example input, I guess. At least that's what I did yesterday to verify if my program works on a simple input. Then yeah, you can just expand it to the real output. Okay. Gathered, we have to split the import. Then we get a number back. Oops. Oh. Wrong way. So what to do, we have to cleanse the input and number of ranges, the input text split, or what's it called? Strip split by comma value, and then for the range or start value and value in number of ranges split. Wait, in number. Because I want to split this one also. Menu list split. Start range split by dash or my range in this. So then we have a start and end value. So basically start value is 1 1, end value is 2 as string. And then we have to check def number is, what's it called? Valid, I guess, positive. Naming value returns bool. Oops. Like if it's odd, if it has an odd length, then it can't be invalid, right? Because you have to repeat the number twice. So if you cut away or have like 1 1 1, then it should be a valid number. Because here you only have repeating, you can split these always in 2. So in that case, if half length maybe, then you go first half should split it. Then you just check return first half equal to second half. So you need another loop for value in range and start value to int value 1, I guess. It's including the last one. Then you just count up. Or valid IDs. Turn some invalid IDs. If number is valid, not number is valid, string of value. Then we add invalid IDs append value as integer. Then we have, what I call it, solution example, print the solution for the example is example part 1 or part 1 is like this, maybe auto format, run. With this number, enter it. Right, that's the example. So close, almost entered wrong. Part 1 is this one. Verify if it's correct. Produces this and this. So we need to assert solution example is equal to this number. Isn't? Why isn't it? Print what value get here. For example, so we have various ranges. Not valid. Oh, it's valid. Unequal needs to be. So I get the right one. This is the correct answer for the example. So commit this out and run this one. Submit. The right answer, part 2. The clerk quickly discovers that there are still invalid IDs in the ranges in your list. Maybe the young elf was doing other silly patterns as well. Now an ID is invalid if it is made only of some sequence of digits repeated at least twice. At least twice. 1 to 3, 3 times. And 1, 7 times are invalid IDs. So any repeated number. If I use the example input again, I guess this is solve part 1. Yeah, I solved the first part. There's like 12 days this time, but each has 2 parts. So I solved the first part, and now I have create a solution for part 2. Which has to check if any repeating number exists. For example, 111 as the one repeating 3 times. Typical TikTok consume. How do I do that? This can be general. This can return tuple of int, where this one is invalidities part 1, part 2. So here I want to add part 2. Instead we go for len range len starting at 1. Going through 2. So if we have 3, then we get 1 back from the division. If we have 2, we get also 1 back. That should be fine. First part. Value length. Then we just try to return false, return true. Otherwise, if we find one, if factor equal to value length divided by, then in Python we can just multiply generated equal to factor times first part. This should repeat it x times. And then we just check if generated equal to value, return false, because then it's an invalid ID. So here we just check this one. Append to part 2 needs to be Example part 1. Solution for example for part 1 is the solution for part 1 is why is my brain stopping? Help. Then we do the same for part 1, part 2. To be this is solved already. With the answer for part 2. This should equal to this number. Not correct. Value length through 2. So this needs to be +1. Okay. And then we solve it for this needs solution, right? Answer. Solution 0. Can do the same, but it's already solved, so part 2 solutions index 1. What? Oh, this needs to be gone. What? Correct. Okay, bye. Solved. Add to solution. Sample solution. Run bash format. Changed. Push.